bankrupt and homeless. Didn't know where to go, didn't know what to do, and somehow or other I wound up at Transition House. And luckily for me, I wound up in the Senior Women's Support Group, where I found out that I wasn't the only one that this has ever happened to.
Transition House, Marcy speaking.
A lot of women come and say that they are responsible for the abuse, what has happened in the family, and what we try to do is let them know what are some of the characteristics of an abuser. So a lot of women think that their relationship is unique, and this is only that what is happening in their family, and they're quite ashamed of that, and they think they're responsible for that.
And I'm a pretty strong woman, and it just about did me in. The hardest phone call you ever make in your life is that one where you admit, okay, I can't do this on my own. I don't have the answers.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your situation?
There are a number of really core issues that you'll see in the community around homelessness, around mental health, and around substance use that definitely impact the women that we serve and the kinds of services that we provide.
I work with children ages 3 to 18. We do group counseling as well as individual counseling with the children. We also offer support to mothers, helping them to work with their children and support them with the issues that they may be having as a result of witnessing violence at home. What I tell mothers is witnessing abuse is actually a form of abuse itself.
Yeah. Okay. So if you want to take my things, yeah, out of the stroller, we'll just get the childcare worker to take.
And we see so many women that have such courage to take that first step. And when they do, and they can start to gain that sense of empowerment that comes with beginning to make some of their own decisions, some of their own choices, beginning to realize what is going on in their own experience, we see a tremendous transformation as women move through that.
Get you settled, and then do a tour. We have you up here in room 8. Nice big crib for baby.
That is great.
Typically, it takes about half an hour for us to do a house tour, and then I like to sit down and chat about your situation, do an intake, which can take half an hour to an hour. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you.
Our volunteers come from many different walks of life, but most of them are really interested in social justice issues and really want to support women as they make this very difficult and challenging change in their lives. They go through quite a training program. It's at least a 5-week, 20-hour program where they learn about the issue of abuse and learn about the impact on women and on children. Our crisis line training is quite a bit more extensive, and there the volunteers are learning about how to be active listeners, and they also need to know how to support women and make sure that they've got a safety plan in place.
Without the counselors, without the tools, I never ever would have been able to do it, and I think how lucky it is that there is a transition house now.
Thanks to a large bequest from a generous donor, the Society began planning a transitional housing project for older women. After 5 years of planning and fundraising, Harrison Place opened. The 23-unit building provides supported transitional housing for up to 3 years for women aged 45 to 65 who have experienced abusive relationships.
It gave them a chance to look forward, and most of the women who are in abusive relationships are always looking backward through fear and because of their circumstances, which are usually, they're in poverty.
Hitting 60 years old and having to start over with nothing but the clothes on your back, it's a very life-altering experience. I feel like my life is just beginning instead of just ending up, and I'm going to be okay.
35 years after its incorporation as a society, the Victoria Women's Transition House Society has 5 facilities, 55 staff, and 75 volunteers, providing emergency shelter, a crisis and information line, counseling for children and women of all ages, referrals, prevention and outreach programs, a victim assistance program, and supported transitional housing.
A key part of the work that we do, of course, is our community education. And we have a long experience of sharing information about the issue of abuse with the community. We continue that and we build on that. It's essential to the work we do. We have many partners in the communities, businesses, churches, service groups, that are very strong and generous in what they provide to us. We raise over 40% of our budget through fundraised dollars. The remainder comes from our government partnerships. So community support of all varieties is very important to the work we do. Transition in Transition House is a very important word. It's a movement from fear and abuse to hope and a future, and we really see that change in the women as they move through our program.
Volunteer, educate, donate.